Welcome to another enlightening podcast from Be Awake, Aware, Alive.com, where we question everything.
You don't get what you want, you get who you are. By the Be Awake, Aware, Alive team. There's a cruel irony that many of us have experienced at some point in our lives. We work tirelessly toward a goal, we visualize success, we create vision boards, we affirm our desires into the universe. And yet, the results never seem to materialize. We wonder why. We blame timing, luck, other people, or the universe itself for being unfair. But here's the uncomfortable truth that few are willing to say out loud. You don't get what you want. You get who you are. The mirror of results. The external world is remarkably honest. It doesn't care about your intentions, your hopes, or your well-crafted plans. It responds only to what you are. Think about it this way. You want financial abundance, but you're someone who avoids looking at their bank account. You want meaningful relationships, but you're someone who avoids vulnerability. You want a thriving career, but you're someone who waits for permission rather than taking initiative. You want physical health, but you're someone who sees exercise as punishment rather than celebration. The gap between what you want and what you get is the gap between who you think you are and who you actually are. The identity trap. Most of us operate from a flawed premise. That if we just work hard enough or want something badly enough, we'll eventually get it. But wanting is not the same as being. When your identity doesn't align with your desires, you're essentially rowing a boat in two different directions. You might be paddling furiously toward your goal, but your subconscious, the part of you that actually determines your behavior, is paddling just as hard in the opposite direction. This is why someone who wants to be a writer, but doesn't see themselves as one will find endless reasons not to write. Someone who wants to be a leader but sees themselves as a follower will defer decisions at crucial moments. Someone who wants to be healthy but identifies as someone who loves food too much will sabotage their own efforts. The transformation principle. If you want different results, you don't need new tactics or a better strategy. You need a new identity. This is the principle that separates those who achieve their goals from those who simply chase them. Transformation doesn't happen when you get something. It happens when you become someone. The person who gets the promotion isn't the one who wanted it most. It's the person who already operated at the level of the role they desired. The person who finds love isn't the one who was desperate to be loved. It's the person who learned to love themselves and became someone worthy of love. The person who builds wealth isn't the one who dreamed of being rich. It's the person who developed the habits, mindset, and identity of someone who creates value. How to become who you want to be. If this hits a little too close to home, don't worry. The gap between who you are and who you want to become isn't fixed. Here's how to bridge it. 1. Start with small identity shifts. Instead of saying, I want to be a runner, start saying, I am a runner, and take a 5-minute jog. The action reinforces the identity, and the identity reinforces the action. 2. Stop planning, start embodying. Stop planning the life you want and start acting as if you already have it. What would the person you want to become do today? Do that. Not tomorrow. Today. 3. Pay attention to your self-talk. The words you use about yourself become the script of your life. If you constantly say, I'm not good with money, or I'm just not lucky, you're writing a story that will come true. 4. Surround yourself with who you want to become. You rise to the level of your environment. If you want to become someone new, spend time with people who already are that person. 5. Stop waiting for motivation. Motivation follows action, not the other way around. The person you want to become doesn't wait to feel ready, they act anyway. The liberation of responsibility. Here's the liberating part of this truth. If you don't get what you want because of who you are, then you have the power to change who you are. You're not a victim of circumstance. You're not waiting for the universe to align. You're not at the mercy of luck. You are the sculptor. You are the artist. You are the one who decides who you will become. And when you become the person who deserves what you want will inevitably come to you. Not because you chased it, but because you attracted it. The final truth. The world doesn't owe you anything based on your desires or intentions. It responds to your identity, your habits, and your actions. So if you're not getting what you want, stop looking outward for explanations. Look inward. The question isn't, why isn't this happening for me? The question is, who am I becoming? Because ultimately, you don't get what you want. You get who you are. So, who are you becoming today? Learn more at beawakeawarealive.com.
Thanks for listening to another enlightening podcast from beawakeawarealive.com, where we question everything.